All right, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another edition of Traitor Trent. If you are new to my channel, do not caps lock me to death yet. I'm going to explain to you why it's called Traitor Trent and what we do with this series. If you're a regular viewer, you know the score. You can skip to where the video starts by checking the pinned comment in the comment section and click on the timestamp and it'll take you straight there. If you're new, basically Traitor Trent is just the name of the series where we're keeping an eye on what's happened with Trent since he left Liverpool. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit of banter. You know, football fans do that. If it offends you, you must be one of those modern-day fans, if you're a bit of a wet wipe, right? We're just saying. If you're not interested in Trent, all right, you don't need to tell us in the comment section why you're watching a video with his name in the title, for example. And we won't let him go because the grown-ups, we want to see how his career does, right? We want to see if it was a good move for Trent. Some of my viewers want his career to bomb miserably. Some of my viewers want him to be a success. I'm indifferent, but I do want to know how things go for him at Madrid. And I watched the game last night because I'm interested. I'm a football fan and I want to see how he does. And what I do, thanks to living in Spain, is I review the Spanish football dailies every day of the week. And I keep a close eye on things like this. And I'm going to tell you what they're saying about him. Now, he's had a really rough time, to be honest with you, since he's been at Real Madrid with the media. Absolutely destroyed and slaughtered over a few weeks, despite not really having a bad game for them, if I'm completely honest with you. Now, you may recall that over the last week, The Athletic published a piece saying Carvajal expects to, sources close to Carvajal expect him to, maintain, keep his place in the side for the foreseeable future. In other words, Trent's relegated to the bench. That created a lot of negative reports around Trent. The British media sticking the knife in this time. The Daily Mail, the Mirror saying Alonso's warning to Trent, he's benched. And then we reviewed an exclusive, one of these shitty exclusives by one of the Twitter twats, basically saying that he's now, that exclusive came after those claims, obviously. Trent's finished already, he might be moving back to, England in no time, to Man City and all this. All nonsense. But they were saying, basically, that exclusive said that he was benched now and that was, he'd lost out to Carvajal. Well, guess what? Real Madrid played last night and Trent started their game. They played against Mallorca. It was 2-1. I'm delighted with the result, to be honest with you, because I had a bet on plus 2.5 goals, which means I needed more than 2 goals. Doesn't matter who scored them. I wasn't bothered about that. Now, what I will tell you is that Trent played, I think, about 70 minutes or something like that. It was replaced by Carvajal. Trent set up an amazing assist. A long ball, maybe from inside his own half, all the way up through the centre of the park, onto Mbappe to bury home, but it was ruled out for offside. You're going to see some comments to do with that. But it was a brilliant, brilliant ball from Trent. He tried a few of those and he was successful. Someone in my comment section said, I watched him, he was shit, he was invisible. Well, he weren't invisible to me. I just think that his position, I don't think he was required to do too much last night, although he did save the day as well. I'm going to read to you some snippets from the media, just so you can get a feel of, the positivity now, because if we only read out the negative stuff, that wouldn't be fair, would it? Right? So, I'm 1,000,000% fair. I'm always going to tell you what they're saying. So if it's good or bad, it's not my opinions, it's them, right? So this is Marca. Mallorca nearly equalised twice in the first. Trent cleared Joseph's shot off the line after a great move by Dada. So he cleared a shot off the line. Here's a quote from an article in Marca. For Trent's misfortune, who enjoyed his best minutes so far in white, VAR annulled Madrid's lead, which is what I was just telling you about. The Englishman's pass was excellent, as was Mbappe's control and finish, but Kylian had a hair in an illegal position. It wasn't the only notable service from Trent as well. Again, bigging him up for his contribution in the game. And he was given a 2-star rating by Marca, 2 out of 3. Carvajal got 1 for the last 20 minutes. Marca, in another article, said, Trent was another who showed some improvement that had been long overdue after a lukewarm start. Now, AS, which is the other Real Madrid publication, said more damage could have been done with the initial connection between Trent and Mbappe The Frenchman left Mallorca trembling in the 6th minute thanks to a pass from the Brit, but the semi-automatic showed an offside by microscopic centimetres. There was also another snippet. The artist, formerly known as Alexander-Arnold, has understood his coach's message, and his recovery of the starting spot was one of the best in the team. In fact, he sent in another of those balls that Mbappe usually finishes, but again it was offside, a resource that will bring Xabi great rewards. And finally, AS said, while Madrid was still grumbling about VAR, a great layoff from Dada to Matteo Joseph was neutralised on the goal line by Trent in an action where the number 12 dressed himself as the number 2, defending with claws. And AS also gave him a 2-star rating out of 3. So more positivity for Trent, which should help with his confidence, really. People said to me, when you've watched him, Dunk, does he look like a bit disinterested, like when he was at Liverpool towards the end? And you can see like that, but I don't think it's that. I think it looks nervous to me. But, listen, in fairness, the lad did well last night, and I know there's many of you that want to see him succeed. Those of you that want him to bomb, I know you'll be like, damn. But it's only a bit of banter, innit? So, there you go. So, he had a good game, and the press were not on his case. All right? I'll leave it with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it informative, please thumbs up the video. If you've got anything sensible to say, please do feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, there's a love out under the video. It's called a super thanks. And anyone that does that, I always give them a shout out in my morning briefings. They're published on my other YouTube channel, the Duncan Oldham channel, the link of which is in the video description below, and it'll be on the screen round about now. All right, guys, cheers.